Hey everybody, this is D3ath with Blackwomenaware. First, I'd like to say thank you to everybody who comes by and supports my page. It really does mean a lot to me. If you all can please press the like or dislike button and subscribe, comment, or even email me if you have any suggestions, questions, or concerns. My email is always going to be in the description box. Again, thank you for visiting my channel. Hey guys, it's D3ath with Blackwomenaware. So I had to jump in real quick and give this message. First, I'd like to say thank you. Thank you for visiting my page. Thank you for showing support and being concerned about the injustices that Black women and children face every day in the United States. I really do appreciate your support. You don't know how much that means to me, especially because I myself am a Black woman. I'd also like to put this quick disclaimer out there. Do not come to my page victim shaming or blaming. You will be immediately blocked for that. I do not tolerate it. There is no need for it. And I'm pretty sure you knew what you were saying in the comment before you posted it. So be respectful. Many of the victims, their families come back and they visit this page. I am their advocate. This is their safe space. No disrespect will be tolerated. You all have a good day. I'm going to let you go back into the commentary. Every 5.5 hours in the United States of America, a Black woman or child is murdered. Stop killing Black women. Stop killing Black children. Wait, hold up. Now, before we get started in today's topic, I wanted to share one last but important and exciting thing with y'all. So I have been communicating with the ladies over at Black Femicide US, and this year's 2022 Black Women's March is going to be held in August. It's going to be held precisely August 27th, 2022. That's a Saturday, y'all, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. We're going to be marching around the city. Yes, you heard me correctly. I said we're, because D3ath is going to be in attendance, and I am honored to be there. I feel privileged to be there. There's going to be raffles. There's going to be food. There's going to be guest speakers. So if you can, please come out and join us. If you can't join us physically, support us virtually. Share and like this video. Share it with all your friends, or if you can't share the video, go over to Black Femicide's Instagram or their Facebook page, find this flyer and share it. I'm going to read their statement before I go into today's topic. It's one that, even though they wrote, I agree with it as well. So it says, we're going to be marching for the liberation of Black women and girls. We march to bring awareness to the issues that Black women and girls face uniquely and disproportionately. We march to honor Black women and girls and to discuss our plan of action on our future in this country that directly ties to our liberation. Beautiful statement. So I hope you guys can come out and join us. Again, the date is August 27th of 2022. The place is Washington, D.C. We're going to be meeting at the Washington Monument, okay? Washington Monument. So if you can be there, be there. If you need more information, just email me or send Black Femicide US a DM. All right, now it's time to go into our topic. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is D3ath, and I am back with another case. This one coming to us out of Kenner, Louisiana. And this is another case, you guys, of matricide, okay? And I'm not going to sit up and say matricide in the Black community is on the rise, because I have no evidence from year by year that it is on the rise. All I am going to say is that it is further being exposed, okay? That's what I know for sure. It is further being exposed, right? So let's just jump right into this. So while searching for the suspect in a hit and run crash, Kenner police found a man who reportedly admitting to unaliving his own mother. On Sunday, and they got the date wrong, so I'll correct them, because Sunday was the 24th, not the 25th. So on Sunday, the 24th of April, Kenner police arrived at a home in the 3100 block of Marietta Street, attempting to locate the owner of the vehicle involved in a hit and run crash. The car was registered to a 55-year-old woman by the name of Cora Chambers, but officers were met at the door by her 28-year-old son, Joshua. When officers asked to speak to his mother, Joshua reportedly told them he had unalived her, according to the Kenner police. Police say they found the woman's body bludgeoned to death and a suspected murder weapon in the home. Now, it's being said that he allegedly unalived his mother with a hammer. For you guys who watched my videos yesterday, you know that this is the second hammer case that I've covered on this channel. But from what I'm hearing from my brothers and sisters down there in Louisiana, that people being bludgeoned to death in Louisiana with hammers is on the rise. That's what they're saying, okay? I just believe it's being further exposed, okay? So let's just keep going. Chambers reportedly gave officers a detailed statement admitting that he unalived his mother. He also admitted to being the driver in the hit and run accident. Kenner police says Joshua has a history of mental illness. He was booked into the Jefferson Parish Correctional Facility on a second-degree murder charge. Okay, so let's unpack this real quick. So if y'all watched the video that I did covering the Rekia Crawford case down there in Texas, you know that I hit on mental illness a little bit and the different categories that I experienced working with people who have mental and physical disabilities. Okay, now one thing I will put out there is in my 10 years, I've been in the medical field 16 years, but I've worked with mental illness for 10 years. So in my experience with working with people with mental illnesses, cases differ, okay? People are different, so they deal with different things. You might have the same diagnoses. You might have, like, it's just almost like autism, but autism has a spectrum, and everybody who has autism don't suffer with the same things. It's the same with schizophrenia. It's the same with bipolar. It's all the same. Like, they might have so much of the same symptoms that when doctors diagnose them, they can say, oh, okay, that's schizophrenia. Oh, okay, that's this, that's that. But everybody differs in how they deal with the different symptoms of those mental illnesses. It's just the same as any other disease. But the reason why I'm stating this is because through my 10 years experience of working with people with mental disabilities, I've understood and I know that there are different categories that people with mental disabilities fall into. You can have a mental disability and still be sane and still be in your right mind. A lot of the general public does not understand, especially because a lot of them don't work with people with mental disabilities. They don't get that people with mental disabilities are not crazy. It is a difference between having a mental disability and being stark raving mad. This goes for your bipolar community. This goes for schizophrenics. This goes for people with ADHD. This goes for people with autism. These people are not crazy, okay? And I even hate that some of them, because they have mental diagnoses, that they're called a disability, because these people, as they go through life and they grow up, they learn how to live their life around their disability. They don't let the disability disable them. Okay, it's the same. It's kind of like somebody with a physical disability. Like, have you ever seen a soldier who came back from war and he's lost a limb and they learn to operate and move around that disability? They don't let the fact that that disability is there stop them from living a normal life. They might get a prosthetic. They learn how to adjust without it. Okay. Same with people with mental disabilities. That's why in the Rekia Crawford video, when I was discussing mental disabilities, I have my experience. Based on my experience, I was able to put people with mental disabilities in 3 different categories. You have the ones who have that diagnosis on their record. I've worked with people who have MR or mental retardation on their records. They have this stuff on their records, but they know and understand the difference between right and wrong. So first category, of people don't have mental disabilities at all. They just people who do evil shit. I call it the demonic category. They go around here and they do evil shit. They know exactly what they're doing, but when they get faced with charges and consequences, oh, now I got a mental disability. They don't have no history of mental disabilities. They don't have a diagnosis. They don't have family or friends or people in their communities who can witness or report, yeah, this person was always a little throwed off. You know what I'm saying? That's your first category. The second category are the people who have these things on their records and they've shown symptoms of it. You can tell by talking to them or dealing with them. If you're a person of their community that, yeah, they're a little throwed off, but you can, like, if you're around them long enough, you know, and you understand this person knows the difference between right and wrong. You know, those are the majority of people with mental disabilities, okay? That's the majority. They understand right and wrong. These are the people with mental and physical disabilities that when they go out and they do something, like I've even worked with pedophiles who had mental disabilities. And these pedophiles that I worked with at the time that I worked with them, they were not allowed to have cell phones. They were not allowed to use the internet. So a lot of the modern day technology and the things that we use, they were not allowed to use them. It was certain jobs that they were not allowed to get. Or if they got those certain jobs, we had to highly supervise them. Like certain jobs that they just were excluded from were like jobs dealing with kids. So like, you know, your play zones or Chuck E. Cheese's and establishments like that, they were not allowed to have those kind of jobs. Other jobs where they could have but be supervised on was like store jobs, grocery store jobs, working at Walmart's and your local Kroger's and things like that, right? So, you know, these are the ones who have the mental disabilities, but they understand the difference between right and wrong. And if you have any experience working with people with mental disabilities, you understand this category very well because you understand this category of people. They will hide things for you. They often use manipulation. They often fill you out. Pedophiles. What I learned in my experience, especially with working with pedophiles, is a lot of people have a misunderstanding about pedophiles. A lot of people think pedophiles only groom their victims. They only groom the innocent children. No, y'all, that's false. They actually groom children and caregivers of children. All right. And that's not just parents and grandparents. That is school teachers. That is babysitters. That is daycare workers. That is doctors. Anybody who has anything to do with a child. Or they manipulate the system. It's pedophiles who work in areas. They purposely get jobs with children to get close to children, right? So they don't just groom the children; they groom the caregivers as well. You know, and working with pedophiles with mental disabilities, I learned that, you know, from the first day you work with them, they are filling you out. They're zoning you in. They're trying to see what kind of person you are. Are you a pushover? Can they play mental games with you to get you to, you know, do their bidding? And basically, they start off slow. Like, for example, one of the experience I had working with a person who had mental disabilities, but was also a manipulator, a narcissist, and a pedophile. This person started off with me slow. And while he was testing me, I was testing him. He didn't know I was testing him. So basically what they'll do is for example, they'll put on a movie like, I don't know if y'all remember back in the day, the movie Apple Pie, American Pie, or whatever the fuck it was called. Movies like that, they either like rate them, or sometimes you could buy them unrated to where they're showing all the body parts and things like that. And I remember working with this individual, and this individual was testing me out. From the second I walked into his door, he was testing me. Okay, because you got to understand, for 8 to 16 hours out of his day, I'm probably the only person with him supervising him, right? So if I'm the only person supervising him, if my guards are down, he has easier access to kids because I'm not doing my job. So they groom the caregivers too, y'all, right? So one thing that I learned with him was, like, he would start off with movies and things, and the minute that you don't nip that shit in the bud, they go to the next step. You know, they go to the next step. So that's that second category, right? That third category are the ones who, then mostly this category, they're the hardest to work with because they have the the more challenging, especially within the physical department, they have the more challenging physical disabilities or mental disabilities, but they don't mean no harm. And usually when they do harm, it's a lack of understanding, or you did something, or the community or some outside source has did something and they interpreted it the wrong way. Okay. And they reacted to it. Okay. So that third category is the category that don't understand right and wrong. They don't get that. Okay, so they might do something, like you might come in contact with this individual and they might just get in your personal space. They do innocent shit like that. They not going to go out and bludgeon a motherfucker to death like this guy did, right? They not going to go out and do some shit like that. They will come up to you and probably be in your personal space, probably ask you the same question over and over again, or they probably will do shit out of impulse. They don't really understand the difference between right and wrong. And the majority of that third category, they're not out to really hurt anybody, you know. And usually the first category, the people who know better and don't have no history of mental illness, they always try to wiggle their ways into this third category and say, hey, this was me and I didn't know no better. No, you knew exactly what, especially when they're covering it up. No, you knew what you were doing. You knew, you know. But anyways, from what I'm hearing about Joseph Chambers, it is alleged from the people in his community, the people who know him and his mother, that he had a history of schizophrenia. He's been known to be seen around the city of Kenner, and people have reported seeing him and actually being able to readily notice he was thrown off, right? The thing with this mother, because a lot of people are questioning, like, why didn't she put him in a home? You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, as we get older as parents, we're not able to take care of children. We having enough trouble taking care of ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Especially as you get older and stuff, right? So I'm hearing two different things around that community. I'm hearing that people were able to visibly see that he had something wrong with him, right? But I'm also hearing that mom allegedly, she did not, like, he has attacked her before. People have offered to call the police for her before, and she would often put, like, you know, say, hey, I don't want y'all to call the police because I'm trying to protect my son. I don't want them to kill my son. You know what I'm saying? So rest in peace to Cora Chambers. I understand what she was saying with, you know, because there's a lot of times you hear about these cases and the police misinterpret the person. They don't realize that this person has mental disabilities and they will, you know, unalive the person. I get that. I just wish Miss Cora had put this man in a mental facility. You know what I'm saying? Because as they get older, especially, I don't know if y'all have ever worked with, for those of y'all who work with people with mental disabilities, you know and you understand, some of them are very fucking strong. It was some places where when I interviewed for the jobs, they would say, you know what, Candace, you have all the right experience. You have all the right training. You popping for this job. But because of your gender and because of your stature, because I'm so small, you cannot work in there. You know, it's a facility with all men, and these men are very strong, and they would overtake your little ass. You know what I'm saying? Some of the jobs that I had, it was, you know, women who had worked with some of these individuals, and they would say, well, okay, this person knocked me out. And that was enough for the company to say, fuck no, don't send nobody over. Even if you were a man and you were short and small, you know, or skinny or real little and didn't have no real build to you, you would not be allowed to work over there. Okay. So, you know, yeah, I get some places, well, really the nation, they don't want you to discriminate against people with certain jobs, but for certain reasons, some jobs won't hire you because, you know, you're too small or because of your gender. And it's a protection thing, because especially with working with people with the mentally ill, because some of them are so much stronger than you. Like, you don't even have to work with people like I work with people. Some of y'all work in nursing homes. You know what I mean? Much respect to the elderly, but some of y'all know and understand when you're working with a demented person, the person who has the diagnosis of being dementia, they have dementia or they have Alzheimer's. You know that when these people get combative, they are very fucking strong. Okay, so I just question, like, why didn't she get him in a facility? You know what I'm saying? He's old enough to go out here and unalive somebody, to steal cars. Obviously, he was not so far gone to where he couldn't take care of himself out in the community. As people are saying, like, he was walking around the community. So basically what I'm saying, when you're dealing with a person with mental disabilities, if they can cross the street and not get hit, they're able to go into, and I'm not, no, like, all people with mental disabilities should not be put in homes. They're humans, y'all. They're not animals. But when you're this far gone and you have a history of being physically abusive to somebody else, you need to be in a supervised facility. That's just my opinion, and I'm not moving on that, especially because of my experience. Especially because most of these cases I've seen parents, and most of the time, and this is across the board, white and black, I've seen parents, and most of the time the parent who's fully responsible for the mental disabled person is the mother. And most of the time, these mothers, they're either coddling these people, or they cannot take care of them anymore, right? They can't, And I'm not trying to condemn mothers, because at the end of the day, when it comes to your child, no matter how old they get, whatever, you're going to give a fuck about your child. You know what I'm saying? But that term right there, even calling them children when they're fully grown, that's what we have to disconnect from. Because then when you call a fully grown man or woman a child, you know what I'm saying, you basically underestimate, their abilities to harm you. You know what I'm saying? You underestimate that, because mentally, and it's like what I said, and I keep mentioning in this book, that eventually I'm going to go over the Lucifer effect. Lucifer effect is basically describing how, people manipulated people's minds into seeing other people as animals. So it would easier make these people, able to be suppressed or taken down or unalived. Their whole villages and tribes and groups of people unalived, because somebody else has manipulated somebody else's mentality and told them, hey, these people are 3/5 of a human, or hey, these people are less than. I went over all of that in a previous video. Same with some mothers. We have to stop allowing our mentalities to be manipulated and say, hey, this grown man or grown woman is my child. No, that's your daughter or son. They were only a child for a little while. They are not that anymore. They're not that anymore. Y'all feel me? So, I'm sad that this happened to Miss Cora Chambers. I hope justice does prevail in this case. I don't know this man personally, but like I said, if you can take a hammer and bludgeon somebody to death, steal their car, get in a hit and run, you fall into that second category. Okay, you know the difference between right and wrong, yet you have a diagnosis of mental illness. Okay, that's the category that you fall into. But anyways, you guys get in the comment section below. Let me know what you think about this case. Please like and share the video. Please remember to be respectful, especially towards the victims in these cases in my comment section. Most families come back and they visit my page and they will see these comments. I don't like for families to come over here and, their family members or their loved ones who are dead and gone and back square with the house are being disrespected. I cannot allow that over here. So I will delete your comment and you will be blocked. So please be respectful in my comment section. You all be safe, be alert, and be aware.